have breaking news in the firefight in the North Bay right now. The next 36 hours are critical in this battle against the glass fire. A new red flag warning is in effect through Saturday morning, and gusty winds already fueling flare-ups like this one. Firefighters are making a full-scale stand on the outskirts of Calistoga, but that fire has jumped containment at several locations and is now pushing into the community of Angwin to the east. Here's a map. Shows you the fire perimeter in red. The solid yellow around it is the mandatory evacuation zone. The lighter yellow areas are the evacuation warnings. And new evacuations were ordered today for the valley floor west of Rutherford. New warnings were issued west of Oakville. And a 17-mile stretch of Highway 29 has been shut down from Calistoga north to Middletown in Lake County.
So far, CAL FIRE has confirmed nearly 400 structures have been damaged or destroyed in the burn zone, which now covers about 88 square miles across Napa and Sonoma counties. The fire is just 5% contained. We have team coverage from the Weather Center to the front lines, but we begin with Kenny Choi. He's live on the outskirts of Angwin, where the situation has been deteriorating all day. Kenny?
Yeah, Elizabeth, there are plenty of residents here who are staying put. You can understand why, because their homes mean so much to them. Throughout the day, we've seen airdrops in this area. Not too much air support. Every once in a while, you'll hear helicopters, and CAL FIRE says that that's because the skies are smoky and gray, and that limits the amount of air support throughout the day. But we do hear the helicopters every once in a while. You can see in this area, the bulldozers have come through and created a line to protect some of these homes. On the ground, residents are helping each other out before what could be a very long night and a big fight. Days ago, Roger Lutz's sister lost her home in Deer Park.
And the one really special part of that was American flag was still flying. It was like, we'll overcome. I'm sorry.
The glass fire has shifted directions, and now his property to the north is closer to the raging inferno.
You can see the helicopter above. That's in the northwest direction from Angwin, making some drops right now.
I could see the flames right there, only a block away, right on the other side of the hill.
Soon Young came back today to help her landlord and friend doing what they can.
Last night I didn't sleep a minute, just watching and cleaning gutters and moving all the stuff away from the houses.
When it comes to the last moment, I'm going to take him with me.
They got some help from Roger, who lives down the street, who's a veteran in many ways.
I've been in a lot of firefights, but all the other firefights before this were with bullets.
Never leaving one behind, he helped his neighbors, quickly setting up a sprinkler system to work.
It's not worth my life, but on the other hand, if I can do whatever I can do to save the houses, I'll do that. The wind will not shift, and tonight I will not sleep too.
Kenny, as far as the people staying behind, has there been any impact on the firefight in terms of resources diverted for door knocks or even rescues?
We do know that CAL FIRE had to make some rescues and help in their evacuations today in this area, and that does take away from the firefight, and that's why they always ask residents to evacuate when those mandatory orders are issued. Now, here in the city and town of Angwin, we certainly understand why some homeowners have decided to stay put. These flames that reached all the way to this line right here, that happened just a couple days ago, and some residents in this area said that they saw the flames reaching this point, but it didn't get to the homes because they're working on trying to create more defensible space, and they're hoping to do that more tonight.
Yeah, but you got to be safe. All right, Kenny, thank you.
All right, still unclear how the main fire got started, but check this out. We saw a CAL FIRE investigator on the scene of this spot fire near Oakville Gray. It was right off the side of the road, and he was placing flags and evidence markers and using an electronic scanning device at the base of a steep hillside. However, he wouldn't tell us much about exactly what he was looking for or what he found. Stay tuned. We now go to KPIX5's Andrea Nakano, who's live in Calistoga, where crews have shut down a stretch of Highway 29 in both directions. Andrea?
Yeah, Ken, we are here off Highway 29, and on a clear day, you would be able to see the town of Calistoga at a distance here, but this is the smokiest we've seen this area yet. Just down here on Old Lawley Toll Road, there is a hard closure there because of falling trees and fire. As you go further up into the mountain area, the firefighter that is there at the entrance of the road says homes are okay on the valley floor, but those that are up in the mountains are in danger. Now, while there is an evacuation order in place in most of this area, Douglas Wright says he is under an evacuation warning and is staying behind to protect his home for now. He has about 200 feet of hose laid out in his front driveway. He's prepared to douse his home with water from his pool if the flames come anywhere near his property. He says he's ready to go, has most of his valuables all packed up, but he's waiting until the very last moment to make sure he's able to take care of his donkeys.
We don't know what's going to happen. It's just this year's been really crazy. So, as you well know, everybody knows there's fires everywhere.
Now, we've seen a few fire engines head up north here on 29 towards Middletown. We are hearing that there is an active fire on the other side of the ridge here. And as you said, Ken, this area, this highway was open yesterday just so people from Calistoga could evacuate to either the Clear Lake or Middletown area. But today it is closed because the fire is moving north. Ken?
All right, Andrea, thank you for that report.
And right now, CAL FIRE is concerned that a change in the winds could push the flames over the fire lines toward Kenwood and Glen Ellen. If that happens, we could see new evacuations.
Obviously, if we do have winds that come through and heat up the current fire activity that's within the perimeter that's been established in that area, there's a high probability that there would be spot fires created from ember casts coming out of any of the heavy vegetation.
Today, Governor Newsom visited St. Helena, touring fire-stricken areas around Foothills Adventist Elementary School. While there, he spoke about the state's strategic fire suppression plan, which includes forest management.
We've now developed a partnership with the Forest Service to double the amount of acreage that we are actively managing with prescribed burns, with vegetation management.
Now, you might have noticed that orange haze around the governor there. Now, today's air quality in St. Helena is so bad, the police department on Main Street was now giving out N95 masks to residents. City officials suggest wearing them at all times if you're outdoors.
And smoke from the fires is filling much of the Bay Area today. Here's a view of San Francisco's skyline. Kind of like looking through a dirty window. You can barely make out some of the buildings. A lot of people saying, here we go again.
Realizing now after on my lunch break how bad the sky is getting again with the light orange sky. So, you know, just staying in mostly and avoiding even going out to outdoor dining.
Yeah, spin it around 360. There's the Berkeley Hills, or where they used to be. You can see that it's as smoky there as it has been in a while. Extreme heat as well in the Bay Area. Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan, I know you've been busy.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the heat in a second. We'll track the smoke a little later on in about 10 minutes, but I want to focus on the fire weather conditions around the glass fire itself. So we're zoomed in here to the North Bay, and especially keep an eye on Calistoga, St. Helena, and Glen Ellen. Humidity levels been running in the teens today, which is very dry. But as we wind the clock forward, usually those numbers go up overnight. They don't much. The best we see is anywhere from 19 to 32% in the wee hours of Friday morning. And then as temperatures heat up on Friday, we're talking about single-digit relative humidity levels for much of Friday afternoon. And not just around the fire itself, but elsewhere in the North Bay, which is why all of the higher terrain around the Bay Area has that red flag warning continuing tomorrow. In terms of the winds, they haven't been too strong today, but those are going to pick up tomorrow. They're going to be from the west and northwest, so a similar direction, but you can see those wind gusts suddenly pulsing up as we head through the afternoon and early evening hours on Friday, and that would fan the existing fires and the hot spots within the glass fire and help any new fire to rapidly spread. Also a heat advisory. This has been extended through tomorrow, through 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. Inland temperatures are going to be in the 90s. The warmest spots around 100 degrees around the bay, mostly in the low to mid 80s. Not quite as hot today as what we anticipated because of all the smoke, but that's a steep price to pay for slightly cooler temperatures. We will track that smoke coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Paul, thank you. Now, because of the heat, a flex alert is in effect until 10 o'clock. The advice, set your thermostat to 78 degrees or higher and limit the use of major appliances.
And we invite you to stay with KPIX5, KPIX.com, and CBSN Bay Area for continuing coverage of the Glass Fire and the red flag conditions, ramping up the fire danger all across our region.